Hello and welcome back to the next installment of this video analysis series. So this is our third video, and today we're going to be talking about how to collect data. Later we'll talk about how to analyze it, and we've already talked about how we can fill the video and import the video into video analysis. So now we're just going to talk about once you got the video in, what do you do with it? How do you collect data? And here's what we're going to learn today. Here's what our objectives are going to be. So we're going to start off learning how to manually collect data. Then we're going to look at how do you automatically collect data, how do you remove data points, say you did something wrong and put someplace something crazy, and then some other cool features you can use to make things a little easier for you. Awesome. So let's go ahead and jump right in. Let's see. This is our ball drop. This is our ball drop video. I'm going to make sure it's just the video. Go to the graph, go to the data table. Awesome, and here we are. This is our video. So let's watch it, just familiarize ourselves with it. Does a couple bounces and it stops. Awesome. Okay, so what we can do is we'll drag this little thing over to the beginning. And you can see this frame number down here shows how many frames. There's 80 frames in this video, and it's about 2.6 seconds long. So let's first talk about how you manually add a point. So you click Add. Over here on the left side, click Add, and you should see this pop up. And when you're on the video, you'll get these crosshairs like this. If you're using a regular mouse, you can use the scroll bar to zoom in and out, and it zooms in on the point you're looking at. If you're using a trackpad like on a Mac, you can just, however you zoom in or out on a document, or however you scroll up or down, on a document, is the same control you'll use for this. So let's just manually add some points here. Click, and you'll notice on the bottom down here, it advanced the frame one frame. So it's still there. Click. It's still there. Click. Oh, and it's starting to move. Awesome. And it's just going to keep doing this, and you can just keep doing this as the ball is falling. Awesome. So that's how you do points manually, is you click, and it'll always advance it one frame. That's the presetting. If you noticed up here, things can get kind of scrunched together, and it's kind of hard to tell what's what. Like, where's that ball? So over here, you can click Trails, and you can turn off the trail, and it'll get rid of all the extra dots that were here. It'll get rid of all those dots. You can turn it on and off, just so you kind of see it a little better. Let's add a couple more points here. And you can start to see it advance. One thing that you can also notice if you turn the graph back on, move my head out of the way. You turn the graph back on. As you click a point, it is automatically adding it to the graph and to the data set, which is super cool. So you can get kind of real-time data about what is happening. So you can see, if we're looking at the blue curve on our graph, or the blue set of dots on our graph, you can see where it started, and then you can see it bounce, and now it's heading back down, which is really, really cool. Okay, so that is how you manually track something. That's how you manually track something. There's also, let me turn the graph off. There's also this feature called Track up here. Click on Track, it'll pull this thing up. And what you want to do is you want to center it right on your point. And this is how big that inner circle is. So you want that inner circle to just kind of encapsulate the whole object you're trying to track like that. And you can make it bigger or smaller. And then what you can do is if you zoom, let me show you the graph for this one. If you hit Start Auto Tracking, it will automatically track it for every frame for the rest of your video. Sometimes this happens. Sometimes it loses it, and you have to point it like that and say, okay, there's the ball. Try and keep tracking from there. And it's a pretty awesome software. It does a really good job of giving you really accurate data this way. So that's the two different ways that you can collect data like this. I'm going to go ahead and stop this for now. Actually, I'll let it keep running because we'll use this data set in the next video. So as you can see, this is, since there's 80 frames, it's going to give us 80 data points. But now the question is, what happens if our video is longer? Like, what are we going to do? Like, is there a way to not use every frame is kind of the next thing. So it's the ball stopped. So I'm going to click stop tracking. You can see it's just kind of flatlined over here. Okay, let's go to that walking video we had last time. Awesome. Here I am. Sweet, I'm back. Let me just go to the video. And here we are. So here's something we can do. So this has 177 frames. That's a huge data set. So what we can do is if we click the gear down here, it'll show us our advanced video options. And here's where you can change how many frames it advances every time. And then this is the standard video rate, 29.97 frames per second. That's kind of normal, so don't really mess with that. Just kind of leave that as it is, because that's right most of the time. Almost all the time, almost all video is 29.97. Really interesting number file video on where that number comes from also, if you want to check it out. You should check that out. But that's not the topic we're talking about. So now what it's going to do is let me go track. I'm going to track this black dot on this green Post-it note. I'm going to click Start Tracking. And if you notice, every time it jumps by 5. So it's not collecting every single data point for every frame. It's collecting every 5th frame. So it starts at 1, and it indexes by 5 every time. So it lets you process longer things, but it does reduce your accuracy at any point in time because you're not having as many points. So that is another really, really cool feature that we have. But now let's say, let me stop this. Let's say we messed up on a data point. Say we had a data point up here. Oh no, I clicked somewhere wrong. What can we do? So what you can do is you can click Edit over here on the side, click Edit. And you select this data point. You have 2 options. You can either drag it over to here, or you can drag it where it goes, or you can click on it and click either delete or backspace on your computer, and it'll remove that from the video. And it'll say, oh, that never happened. We're good. That's really, really cool. So in case you make a mistake or anything. Another interesting thing is vectors. Here, move myself out of the way. You can add position, velocity, and acceleration vectors on here. Let's just do velocity for now. So this icon right here, let me start over. This icon shows X and Y components. It also shows the resultant in red. So the X and Y components are in gray, and the resultant is red. The second option is you can just get the resultant, which is that one. So that's the velocity it is traveling in at that moment in time. You can also just get the components. So here you have both your X and your Y components. And then there you can turn it off. You can change how big the vectors are by doing this. So let's do velocity. You can change how big the vectors are, like that. That only works if you have acceleration. Let me turn that off. But same thing, it changes how big they are. And then this changes how often. So how many N data points or M data points you want. So you set it on 1, you'll have it for every data point. But you can change it up to 2 or 3 or 4 data points, and it'll only show you every 4th data point, for example. So that's something really cool if you want to look at how things are acting on it, where things are moving at any given point in time. That's a really cool tool to have, and the same thing works with position and acceleration. Awesome, so let's go ahead and recap what we've done, because there was a lot here. There's a lot here that we just went over. So we learned how to manually collect data points, where you click on each one as it indexes the frame. We learned how to automatically collect data points by saying, okay, here's your object. Go ahead and track that object through all these frames. We taught you how to remove data points, how to say, oh, you messed up, click it and delete it. That way, just in case something goes wrong, things happen, it's hard. And then we also talked about how you can do all those other amazing things that are really, really helpful and really, really cool to make things easier. Next time, I think we're going to go over, let me double check. Yes, we're going to go over how to calibrate our system, how to set how big things are, how to set where the origin is, really to kind of take this video and really start to apply physics to it and be like, okay, here's how we do physics, and this is how many meters things are, and scale, we put things in the right units, and put everything exactly where it's going to be. This is awesome. Thanks for checking us out. Hope to see you all in the next one. Later. Remove me, and peace.